Dalton Knecht over the weekend could have dropped 35 on Alabama had he, or I'm sorry, help me.
Alabama, you got it.
Alabama, yes. Alabama had he needed to. That according to Alabama's head coach, Nate Oates. And he was just fantastic. We talked about he's the best scorer since. I think it has to be at least Allen Houston, and I think it's beyond that. I think Allen Houston took a lot of shots. I think Dalton Knecht is the best offensive player since a guy named Bernard King. And I said that last week. I think we've been pretty ahead of the curve. Caleb's looking at me like I'm crazy. Caleb, I think I'm ahead of the curve again. Maybe you're not with me, but I think you'll be there eventually. Am I crazy?
It's hard for me to go there because Bernard King did everything, scored from every. Bernard King could play power forward or he could play shooting guard if he wanted to. I think Dalton Knecht is a pure wing. I'm not sure how much of a post-up guy he is, but he is, and he's a little bit shorter than Bernard King, but I get what you're saying. The story the other night was Dalton Knecht didn't have a great shooting night. Y'all saw he was 1 of 6 from 3. The story of Dalton Knecht is when he's not shooting the ball well, what does he do? He gets to the free throw line.
He takes it to the rack.
Yeah, he takes it to the rack. And here's what helps him so much. And I've been bringing this up. Tennessee, if it's not Dalton Knecht, they have enough weapons now where somebody's going to be red hot shooting the ball from 3, right? They have enough weapons. Well, yes. Guess what? That's exactly what they got in this game because Vescovi finally stepped up, hit 2 threes. Zakai Ziegler went 2 of 5 from 3. And then off the bench, Jordan Gainey comes in 3 of 5 from 3 with 15 points. Jemai Meshack hits a 3. So even with Dalton Knecht struggling, Tennessee went 10 of 28 from the 3-point line, even though Knecht was 1 of 6 and Josiah Jordan-James was 0 of 3 because they have that many weapons. And Dave, here's what's crucial about this. When you have that many weapons and you force people to respect the perimeter, that clears things up for Dalton Knecht to go ISO all day to get to the rack. And on top of that, you can't sell out on the perimeter the way Kentucky did last year to Tennessee because Jonas Aidoo is continuing to do what he needs to do down low. Had 19 points again. And I keep saying Dalton Knecht is Tennessee's best player by far. And I could even agree with you that he may be Tennessee's best scorer than Bernard King. Again, Allen Houston, Dale Ellis, Chris Lofton, Jordan McRae. I mean, Tennessee's had some great scores through the years. But I think, again, the key for all of this is Jonas Aidoo has to keep doing what he's doing. Because if Jonas Aidoo is still a physical force down low, then you're going to get the shooting from the outside that you want, and you're going to get the scoring from Dalton Knecht. But Aidoo's got to be able to keep this up. And he played about 25 minutes the other day. Barnes went small for a while against Alabama. I don't know if you saw that. This was the other telling story of the game. You know, Alabama likes to run. Nate Oates likes to play tempo. Barnes went small for a while. And so Awaka and Estrella didn't play that many minutes, and Barnes gave Gainey and Meshack about 21 and 28 minutes each. He was going small to keep up with Bama's tempo, and it worked. So Tennessee has actually just a complete team, and Dalton Knecht is the best player.
It's a very versatile team. Apex Apparel Group, design, brand, and market your way. Unique products to promote your business with unparalleled customer service. ApexApparelGroup.com. Or just call Tyler, 919-3001, 919-3001. Of course, area code 865-919-3001. You can get your whole business set up, and they'll do a great job. Shirts, mugs, whatever the case may be. Every once in a while, there is someone that posts something that is so funny it makes me giggle, and Caleb looks at me like I'm weird. But Travis did it because I was giggling while Caleb was talking. Who wins in a game of horse? Nico, Knecht, MJ, or Jesus? I say Jesus, but it's close. It's a good line, Travis. Knecht to me makes Tennessee different, and I'm going to ask you this question. You've got 1 year. You've got Lofton or Knecht. Who you taking for 1 year?
I'm still taking Lofton. It depends on the team that's put together, though. It does depend on the makeup of the team, to be fair. You know, but with Aidoo this year, I'm still taking Lofton.
Okay, I'm going to strongly take Knecht, and here's why. I think if you extend defensively to the 3-point line, you could take away Chris Lofton. He doesn't have the ability nor the size to take it to the rack as easily as Dalton Knecht. So I think it's Dalton Knecht. And Caleb, I thought I would bring you over to this side because I really don't think it's close. I love Lofton, but let's not forget about Jawan on the other side of the court that you had to be aware of. While Tennessee is not a one-man team, don't get me wrong, that was a special pair of shooters that you had to be really scared of on the perimeter. Knecht, to me, is able to collapse defenses by himself. Unless he runs against a just absolute incredible on-ball defender, I don't think he's stoppable. I think if he wants 28 points in an NCAA tournament game, he's going to get 28 points in an NCAA tournament game.
You're thinking Chris Lofton his senior year when Jawan Smith really emerged. You're forgetting Chris Lofton, the All-American, his sophomore year when Tennessee did not have Tyler Smith. Major Wingate was their best player inside, who wasn't that great. And Dane Bradshaw was having to post up half the time, and he was 6'4". And look, Knecht, I mean, Lofton willed that team to the NCAA tournament in a top 10 ranking. The thing that's making me hard to say it, Dave, is this team is way more loaded than that team was. Okay, there is no Jonas Aidoo on that team. There's no Zakai Ziegler on that team, quite honestly.
Speaking of, if you want great insight, Caleb with basketball does it, because he wrote last week about how important Aidoo was. And Mead Drinker says Aidoo is the biggest surprise besides Knecht. And honestly, when I saw the headline and Caleb posted the story, I guess this was 2 Saturdays ago, I thought, wasn't Knecht kind of the story? And but when I read it, Caleb was absolutely right. That's what you get at offthehooksports.com. You brought that up. Aidoo is another very positive surprise. I mean, what has gone wrong for Tennessee other than Santiago Vescovi's personal issues where he had to go? His grandmother passed away, where he had to go back. But I mean, other than that, what's gone wrong for this basketball team? What you would have to nitpick, wouldn't you, to find an issue with this basketball team other than the big glaring one, which is Rick Barnes in the tournament? But what's wrong with this basketball team? That's the tough question I'll ask you.
Absolutely nothing is wrong with this basketball team except for front court depth. But I think they found that with JP Estrella, which is the big deal I wanted to bring up too, was JP Estrella can now be effective in the front court. I think, but that's why I can't say Knecht over Chris Lofton, is because Knecht is the best player on a loaded team. Here's the thing, Dave. If you took Knecht off this team, they actually have all the pieces to make a tournament run. It's just they have all the pieces, and then you add Knecht, who can just score at will from anywhere on the court. All of a sudden, you're like, oh my gosh, this team's incredible. And so I really do think that it's real. Your 08 Celtics, when Kevin Garnett was the interior force and Ray Allen was a spot-up shooter outside, they were both elite. They kind of gave the Celtics a complete team. But they had a complete team plus Paul Pierce, who could score anywhere on the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that changed everything. And so
Paul Pierce is a goofy player, a herky-jerky player, but I made the comparison. I want to repeat it to Jason Tatum. I mean, I think you've had a little bit of time to think about that, Caleb. Am I on base there?
No, that's Tatum? A good one. Jason Tatum is a great one. I love, and Knecht, I think, is a little bit taller too. So yeah, no, Jason Tatum was a great comparison. I still like my John Shire one better, but you're right, because Shire.
I like my opinion better than yours. Well, hell, Caleb, that's why it's your opinion.
But no, I came around to Tatum because Shire was a better passer than Knecht was, and Jason Tatum is not much of a passer. He is just a scorer, really, in the NBA. But that's fine. So I definitely see Jason Tatum very well. Look, this team, this may be the best team Rick Barnes has coached at Tennessee, and maybe the best team he's ever coached.
I don't even think it's close. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know all his Texas teams, okay? But I don't even think it's close. I think this is by far, from top to bottom, Tennessee's best basketball team under Rick Barnes, and I think it has the most star power since you got Ron Slay, who joins us on Thursdays, coming off the bench. To have Ron Slay as your sixth player, what you can help me with the year. but I think it has the most
99.
star power since that group.
That group did have a ton of star power, didn't it? And the funny thing was, like, so many, like, yeah, that group was loaded. I could see that. Now the problem is, right now Tennessee has just 8 guys playing more than 10 minutes a game. I don't know if you know that, Dave. They have just 8 guys playing more than 10 minutes a game. That they got to get that up to 9 or 10. They're going to, otherwise their legs will give out on them in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't you think they have great depth or good depth?
I think they have good depth, but they don't have great depth. Now, you're hoping, if you're Tennessee, that JP Estrella is going to start emerge, because that's the big thing is front court depth. They need another big down low. They need one more that can, in case Aidoo gets in foul trouble with a tiki-tack foul call game, they need one more. And that's where Estrella needs to continue to emerge. But if he doesn't, they will have an issue in March, because I've seen this happen 1,000 times, Dave, where teams that are really good in the regular season play 7 or 8 guys in the second leg of the second weekend, or the second leg of the first weekend even, just gives out on them, and they just don't have any energy left in the tank.